Hey guys, welcome back to A Beautiful Mess. Do you guys remember this house? You might recognize some of these photos from, it's the very first video I actually put out on this channel. So you might remember some of these bathrooms that I cleaned and the kitchen and the living room. And today we're working on the office. And the reason I'm back, I will tell you a little bit more about throughout this video today, but it's not like she hasn't done anything since I was there in April. But there's been a lot going on, and I'll kind of tell you or update you on her story. But anyway, like I said, this is from back in April. This is the condition of the office back then. And then I went back just a couple of weeks ago and have some footage. This is what the office looked like when I came back to help. So this is what we're dealing with today. And it's really sad what has been happening the last, let's see, what's that been? It was like 4 months in between the first time I went there and then this time. And again, I'll tell you a little bit more of that story as we kind of get going here. I just wanted you to see kind of the mess we're dealing with today. So just to remind you, or for those of you that don't know, this is the house that had the carpet beetles and pantry moths. And she's been dealing with this infestation for a few years. But anyway, I reached back out to her about a month ago and just asked how things were going, you know, expecting to be like, oh, great, we've got it all cleaned up, we've gotten rid of all the bugs, we're great. But that is not the response I got at all. And this was the text I got back. She says, "Hi Bonnie, I'm so sorry I'm slow to respond. We've had a lot going on this weekend. We have gotten a little bit more done at the house, but not as much as I'd like. I've had some health issues come up that have made it harder for me to clean, and honestly, my anxiety has made it hard too. My neck has been hurting since early this year, and at some point it became so painful that I couldn't turn my head, which made it hard to drive or do much of anything. I went and got an MRI and have had a few things going on in my cervical spine that are causing nerve pain, and they're wanting me to get injections that will help with the pain and potentially help with the inflammation. And if that doesn't relieve the pain enough, I might have to have surgery. And then on top of that, my husband and I have been wanting to get pregnant, but I haven't been able to due to my latest test showing I have polyps in my uterus. And this is the second time. And so she says, I'll have to have surgery to remove the polyps either later this month or next month. And I'm actually going to pause on that story for just a second because this next part coming up reminded me so much of Tetris that I thought it would be fun to play a little Tetris music to it and yeah, just have a little fun with it. Thanks for indulging me and having a little fun with this video. But anyway, back to her story. So she says, anyway, all of it has been too much, so I haven't been doing much. But I started feeling like there's more to my struggle to get this house clean. I have some pretty bad memories there with my ex-husband. And then she goes on to kind of describe what kind of abuse she suffered, and I was asked not to go into details, but just know that there was abuse there, and she has some PTSD from that. So then she says that she dealt living I dealt with living in that house ever since the divorce, and that's a huge part of how the house got so bad. I'd probably say the biggest contributor, the other being ADHD. Untreated PTSD had me in survival mode 24/7 and dealing with executive dysfunction, which put a strain on my marriage, and my husband was going to school full time and working full time. So the main responsibility of taking care of the house fell on me. And I was just too overwhelmed to do anything more than take care of my son and the bare minimum of cleaning, like laundry. And with the mess building up more and more, my overwhelm grew more and more because the chaos in my home made me feel chaos inside myself. I wanted it clean, but I couldn't do it. Executive dysfunction is a horrible thing to deal with, and I wouldn't wish that struggle on anyone. And I'm going to pause here and say that I actually had to look up executive dysfunction because this is the second person I've helped who has executive dysfunction, and I didn't really know what all it entailed. But it includes things like getting distracted when completing tasks, struggling to organize a schedule, activities, and work materials, forgetting important dates, meetings, or appointments, showing up late to meetings and appointments, losing essential items needed for work or daily activities, difficulty making deadlines, problems paying attention, not remembering things, lack of properly prioritizing tasks, behavioral outbursts, trouble planning or carrying out a task because you can't visualize the finished product or goal, paying attention, self-control, working memory, or your ability to memorize, use, and apply information, switching tasks, or focusing, organizing or planning, and completing long-term projects. So that's an exhaustive list, and I'm sure not everybody with executive dysfunction has all of those things, but you can see that that is a pretty debilitating list of things that can happen in your brain that makes it hard for your life to function properly and for you to manage things. And anyway, that on top of all the health issues and PTSD and everything just snowballed into what you're seeing in this house. So really sad. And I felt bad that I had waited so long to reach out to her. I was getting my YouTube channel up and going, and so I hadn't checked back in on her in a couple months. So I had no idea that there was more going on. I thought I got her on the right track, which, I did in some ways, and she did get a little bit more done, and certainly has functioned better since I came to help her. But there is still just so much that she needs to deal with, and especially her neck right now is probably the most pressing issue. I know she just had an injection yesterday in her neck, and has to wait a few days for it to see if it's going to work. So we're crossing our fingers and hope that it works and that she doesn't need to have surgery. Having been in her position and going through the injections and the neck pain and radiating pain into my arms and numbness and weakness and all that comes with that, I can relate to that part of the story, and I can tell you it's awful. So there's only so much you can do before you have to have surgery. And fortunately, the surgery that I had helped tremendously. I had a disc replacement, which was very fortunate that I could do that, because not everybody qualifies for a disc replacement. Sometimes you have to have it fused. But anyway, it has been a world of difference after. So hopefully if she does have to have surgery, she could maybe go that route, because otherwise it's usually a fusion, and that limits the mobility of your neck and just it causes your other discs surrounding that to take on more pressure, and they wear out faster. And anyway, the problem just compiles. So that's probably way more than you wanted to know about neck surgery and all that. But something I forgot to mention about what I'm trying to accomplish here today is that they are considering moving. In fact, most likely they are going to be moving, and that's what we are doing, is packing up things as though they're going to move, because she said that the longer that she's away from the house, you know, she thinks that every time she goes back, she thinks that all of this anxiety that she has is related to the bugs, all the critters that are there. But the more she thinks about it, she feels like a lot of it is just that PTSD from the abuse of her ex-husband and sharing that home with him. So they'd really like to get a fresh start somewhere else. And so that is the plan here, is that we are going to pack up everything as though they're moving and help them get this house on the market so that they can get a fresh start somewhere else. Also, her husband is still studying for the LSAT to become an attorney, and has been working full time, so he has not been able to help a lot at the house either. And if you do remember my first few videos, you'll remember that he was actually still living in this house while she and her son had moved in with her parents, because there wasn't room for him as well. Just a little background on that. Her parents have taken in a lot of her nieces and nephews due to some issues I'm not even going to go into, but anyway, their house is packed, and so it was really hard to try to fit everybody. Anyway, she recently told her husband that, like, whatever it takes, we need to get you out of this house, because if there is anybody living there, if any food is brought in, she just has a hard time staying on top of getting these little critters killed and keeping them away. So she has basically made room for him at her parents', but as you can imagine, that is a lot for anyone to have multiple different people living with them in years that they're supposed to likely be retired. So that just adds a whole level of stress, as they feel like they need to move on, get, you know, their own place that they can actually live in and get out of there, give them some space back. So that is another piece to this. Okay, now we're moving on to his side of the desk. We've got one side cleaned up, yay! So I have to tell you that when I first told my husband that I was going back to clean at this house after I'd already spent so much time there, he was a little concerned that I was being taken advantage of, and rightfully so. I get his point of view, because he's never met this woman, but I can guarantee you that is not what's going on, and after hearing her story, I'm sure you agree. But the other thing is, the more time that I've spent with her, because every time I'm over there, she is as well, unless she has to go, you know, take her son somewhere or pick him up from school or go to an appointment or something, but she's always there working with me. And we talk a lot, and I have really grown to love her. She's an amazing person, and the things that she's been through are just, I can't even imagine, because I've never dealt with anything like that. And that's part of the reason why I do this channel, is to get other people's stories out there, so that if someone has gone through an abusive relationship or PTSD or has ADHD or executive dysfunction, that you can relate to this, and that you know that you're not alone in the struggle. So anyway, it was just really, I don't know if therapeutic's the right word, but just, I loved talking with her and getting to know her story. And it just makes you feel like, you know, my struggles are not that complex. Like, I can figure out my own. So it was really nice to, you know, hear from her how much, you know, this helping her with the house has meant to her, and that she after she gets on top of all this and gets her health issues under control, that she wants to give back by helping other people who might be in similar situations. So that stuff just means so much to me and is one of the reasons I just keep doing this, because I think in my little way, I'm doing what I can to help change the world. I don't know, that might be too broad, but you know, just doing what I can to help even just one person is enough for me. I mean, because then they can go on and help other people, and it just is that compounding effect. So I just love it. It's so rewarding, and it's also been good for me to build my confidence and to know that, like, little old me can do something to help someone in this world. And I this sounds cheesy, but I think everybody has that ability, and I think you just need to find what your different gifts are and share that with the world. So anyway, there's my little plug for the day about going out and helping people. So anyway, I will let you, I'll stop talking because I've talked a lot, which is very unusual for me, but I'll let you enjoy a little bit of cleaning for a minute. I guess this would be a good time to remind you guys to go like this video. Go take a second to like it, because the algorithm loves those likes. And then subscribe if you haven't yet. I appreciate every subscriber, and I am so excited about the collaboration that's coming up with Mac from Midwest Magic Cleaning and Clean with Barbie. And I'm hoping it gets this channel to grow even more, because the more subscribers I can get and the faster I can get this channel to grow, that's just more people that I can help out there. And I would love to be able to give back in more ways. Like there's so much storage that people need when I go to help them that they're just lacking in storage, and I always wish I could buy them something. Or new bedding. That would be amazing if I could buy them new bedding, because so many desperately need it. But anyway, there's all these ideas I have to give back, but it can only happen if my channel really grows big to make enough money from YouTube to give in more ways. So that's where you guys come in, and I appreciate all that you do. Thank you. Sorry about the lack of cleaning sounds in this one. I was listening to music a lot of the time while I was cleaning, so I couldn't really play any background stuff, but I do have some vacuuming coming up, so here you go. Enjoy. So this was kind of a different view. This was under the desk. It looks like somebody had a party under there, or at least took a nap or something and had a little snack. I don't know. But anyway, this was kind of a fun area to clean out at just a different kind of camera angle. Oh, look, another water bottle. Yes, that is this house. That was the same, or the teen room rescue, I think, was what I called that one, with all the water bottles. Yep, same house. So I'm guessing the son, I don't know, took a little nap under here and had his water bottles, because there was the leftover evidence there. I can't wait to show you the after on this room, because there's something so different about just cleaning a room and then boxing everything up to move it so that it's an empty room basically, and it just makes for a very dramatic before and after. So can't wait for that. Almost there. Here we go, before and after. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And here's what's coming up next week on this house. We're going to be helping move stuff to storage with my whole family. Okay, except for my daughter, but my husband and my 2 boys are going to be there helping. And then I'm going to tackle her closet. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. And remember to subscribe if you haven't. Like the video. Ring the bell if you want to be notified of any videos that I put out. Leave a comment. And if you want to support the work that I do and give a little extra donation, again, no pressure at all, but if you want to, you just hit that super thanks button to leave a little donation. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks, and have a great week.